What's up everyone, it's Synchron here, and today I'll be bringing you all my Zombie Horde Predaplant deck profile with Doom King itself for the banishment of a zombie monster or zombie monster negation, Predaplant Chimera to get over boss monsters, and Scorpio to get Predaplants to your side of the field as fast as possible, with fusion plays and the searching of Cobra for instant fusion, etc. I'll explain more later in the video, so let's get started. So for the monsters of the deck, definitely run at least 2 Doom King during the standby phase. If a face-up card is in the field zone while this card's in the grave, you can special summon this card to your side of the field. You can only gain that effect once per turn. However, once per chain, quick effect, when a zombie monster activates its effect, you can activate one of the following effects. However, you cannot activate that effect twice during this turn. Anyways, you can either banish that zombie monster or negate its activation. Next up, 3 Mizuki for the zombie revival. Banish this card from your grave, special summon a zombie from your grave. 2 Gozuki. During your main phase, you send a zombie from your deck to your grave, and if Gozuki is sent to the grave, you could banish another zombie, except itself, and special summon a zombie from your hand. Both effects once per turn. Next up, Necro Banshee. Zombie world cannot be destroyed by card effects, and neither player can target it with card effects. Quick effect, you can banish this card from your grave or your field, activate a zombie world directly from your deck or from your hand. Next up, 3 Shiranui. Solitaire. Tribute itself, switches to summon a zombie with 0 defense from your deck to your side of the field. There's more effects, but we really just use the first effect of Shiranui. And it's a 2 Glow Bulb. If this card is sent to the grave, banish it, add a level 5 or higher zombie from your deck to your hand. Or if you have Zombie World on the field, you could special summon that level 5 or higher zombie instead. Once per turn, by the way. Next up, 2 Unit Zombie. Finishing up the zombies. Target a monster on the field, increases level by 1. Or second effect, once per turn, target a monster on the field. No monsters you control can attack except zombie monsters. And increase that monster's level by 1, and also send a zombie from your deck to the grave. Once returned, and that'll finish up the zombies of the deck. For the monsters that are Predaplants, definitely will run 2, or for Scorpio, or 3, whatever you feel is necessary. If this card is normal summon or special summon, you send 1 monster from your hand to the grave. If you do special summon a Predaplant monster from your deck to your side of the field, except Scorpio, you gain that effect once per turn. Next up, Cobra. If this card is special summoned by the effect of a Predaplant monster, search your deck for a Polymerization spell card or a Fusion spell card. Gain that effect once per duel. Next up, Predaplant Sundune. This card basically allows you to fusion summon using monsters from your hand, field, or your opponent's side of the field if there are Preda counters on those monsters, basically. And really the only way to get Preda counters on your opponent's side of the field is with the Fusion card. We'll get to that later. But any monster your opponent controls that was used with Sundune for the fusion summon of a dark monster, that's the only fusion monster you could go for, those monsters, no matter their attribute, are treated as dark monsters. And you only gain that effect once per turn. For the spells and traps, therefore run at least 3 Zombie World, make all monsters on the field and in the graves into zombies. 1 Fusion Recycling Plant, discard a card, add a poly from your deck or grave to your hand, and during the end phase, target a monster that was used for a fusion summon material that turn, return it back to your hand, all once per turn. 2 Terraforming, just to search out the field spells. 2 Polymerization, pretty searchable with either Diffusion Plant or Predascorpio. 1 Refusion, pay 800, target a fusion monster in the grave, so it's to summon it to your side of the field. Equip it with this card, and when this card is destroyed, banish the equipped monster. Ultra Poly, pay 2000, fusion summon using materials on your side of the field, and if this card's in the grave, you can banish it, target a fusion monster in your grave, and special summon the materials used for its fusion summon, but their defense becomes 0 and they have their effects negated. 1 Super Poly, I feel like 1's good enough for the deck. If you want to run 2, by all means, go for it. Oh, sorry, I actually forgot to mention. Ultra Poly and Super Poly, your opponent cannot respond to it, but Super Poly has less of a cost effect. You basically just discard 1 card, send from either side of the field to the grave's fusion materials listed for the fusion summon of an extra deck monster. The special summon is treated as a fusion summon Spell traps and effects cannot be activated to discard response. I cannot talk today. 2 instant fusion just for the Scorpio targets. 3 Allure Darkness. The deck is mainly dark monsters, so really it's not gonna hurt the deck at all for draw power. 1 Burial from the different dimension. Some cards actually like to banish themselves, and if you do banish with Allure Darkness, just return up to 3 banished monsters from your banish zone to your graves. Finishing it up, 2 Return of the Zombies. I love this card because when it's in the grave, you could basically reset it. But anyways, you can banish a zombie from either field, then special summon a zombie from the grave of that player who controlled the original monster that was just banished by this card's effect. And if this card's in the grave, you can shuffle one of your banished zombie monsters into the deck. If you do, reset it, but banish it when it leaves the field. And yeah, that about does it for these spell and traps. For the extra deck, there for one, at least 1 Nether Soul Dragon, 2 zombie monsters go into, must first be future summoned. And monsters this card battles cannot be destroyed by that battle. And if this monster actually battled a monster with an original level, that monster's attack becomes 0. And if it does, special summon a Nether Soul token to your side of the field. And if it do, whatever attack lost for that opponent's monster, the token gains that attack and also gains that monster's level. Both effects once per turn. And for instant fusion target, I figured 2 $1,000 to restrict, because why not? Next up, 2 Predaplant Chimera. What this card does is if a monster with a level lower than this card's on the field, target it and banish it. But if this card does battle an opponent's monster, that opponent's monster loses 1,000, this card gains 1,000. And finally, once returned during the next standby phase after this card was sent to the grave, you can add a polymerization spell card or a fusion spell card from your deck to your hand. So in a sense, even if it does leave the field, it does have its benefits. Granted, it's a little slower, but you know, better than nothing. And finally for the fusions, 1 Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, gain attack when it's fusion summoned from the extra deck, and steal one of your opponent's effects. Finishing it up, Greedy Venom Fusion Dragon, target a monster your opponent controls, its attack becomes 0 and it has its effects negated. Finally, if it's destroyed in general, destroy as many monsters on the field as possible and special summon a level 8 or higher monster from your grave. Next up, we do run at least 1 Red-Eye Zombie Necro Dragon, gains 100 attack for each zombie monster on the field and in the graves. And if another zombie monster is destroyed by battle and sent to the grave, target 1 zombie in either grave, special summon to your side of the field, all once per turn. Next up, Cyber's Quantum Dragon. If you control a link monster, monsters your opponent controls cannot attack monsters you control except this one, and your opponent cannot target monsters you control with card effects except this one, as long as you have a link monster. And what I like about this card is basically when it battles an opponent's monster, you can send that monster back from the field to your opponent's hand or extra deck, but it specifically says hand. And if you do, you gain another attack with this card. And next up, Evil Swarm Exciton Knight. It's for the blowing up of the field. Since Black Rose was a bit more of a last minute choice, I figured Evil Swarm just a lot easier to go into. Link Karibo easy to go into with the Lilith. Underclock Taker for the easy Link 2. And also to get your zombies in the grave. Witch's Apprentice if Underclock Taker isn't your type. And finishing up the extra deck, Borderlord Dragon, because why not? Alright, so this is the end of the video. I hope you all enjoyed. Like it, dislike it, do what you feel is necessary. Subscribe if you're new, or subscribe if you actually enjoy what I do post on the channel. I might do discussion videos in the future. Whatever I can think of, I'll try to record and maybe even bring some friends onto the channel to actually help me out with some discussions. But yeah, that's about it. Have your voice heard down in the description below. You know, say what you want about the deck profile. Maybe throw in some suggestions, whatever you feel is necessary. But that's all I have to say, so see you all next time.